Hi everyone, welcome to another Scrum Master Minute. I'm Nick Hirschberger. Today I thought I'd talk a little bit about retrospective strategies and techniques. So I've come to find that when designing retrospectives for teams, not one size fits all. So repetitive retrospectives is definitely something to avoid, doing the same activity every week, but even doing a more in-depth or complex retrospective is not always the right approach for every type of iteration. So this is an oversimplification of how I feel on the topic, but we have successful and unsuccessful sprints, and then we have basic activities and complex activities. So generally speaking, when sprints are successful, and I understand there's probably some things in between, when we have successful sprints, I like to keep the activities basic. I tend to try to go back to the start, stop, continue, kudos, and then maybe some retro feedback model. It seems like teams tend to have less input during the successful sprints than they would have during the unsuccessful sprints. And while I think input and feedback is important when we are successful just as much as when we're unsuccessful, sometimes if the retrospective is really involved and has lots of different activities, teams don't really see the point, and the participation is maybe not as great. And could have probably got away with a little bit more of a simple retrospective activity. And I highlighted continue here because I like to focus on the continue when we've been successful. What practices do we want to continue from the successful sprint moving forward? I'll also get start and stop type feedback and try to elicit that, but really documenting why we were successful and making sure that teams understand that in future retrospectives. Then unsuccessful sprints, this is when I tend to go back to a more complex retrospective activity. So many of you may be familiar with the 5 stages of retrospective: setting the stage, gathering data, generating insights, deciding what to do, and closing the retrospective. And of course, you're one Google search away from learning more about this technique. But as I love this technique, I love breaking these things down and doing different exercises for each one of these items. But I find I'm more successful to use this formula when there was some unsuccessful things that happened during our iteration. Maybe big communication breakdowns. Perhaps there were some performance issues during the sprint. Whatever your reasoning might be, we really want to dig deep and figure out what do we need to stop doing in the next iteration. What are the causes for some of the problems that we've had with our different stories, and really come up with good retrospective activities. And I really take the time to design out a complex retrospective for that type of activity. Thank you for watching a video on the Scrum Master Minute channel. Please subscribe to this channel by clicking the subscribe button.